just happened?
What are you talking about?
This is Grand Theft Auto 5, one of 2013's most anticipated games. It's huge, it's funny, and it's one of the most well-made games of all time.
We ready for this?
I could use a restroom break.
And risk getting ID. You're an idiot.
GTA 5's story takes place in the alternate version of Los Angeles, Los Santos, and it's here where our three protagonists meet and their lives are changed forever.
I feel horrible.
Michael is a retired bank robber who is trying to live a normal life with his extremely dysfunctional family. His short temper and skills make him a dangerous man, but that's not what he wants to be anymore.
Tanya, do you ever clean your raggedy bitch ass up?
Fuck you, Lamar. I mean, Franklin or whatever. Everybody on the block knows you gonna buying wood and shit.
Franklin is a low-level street thug who is also trying to go the straight and narrow by working for a repo company. These two characters are so well fleshed out that you do begin to play differently with each of them solely based on their acted-out personalities.
Easy, easy. I'm a friendly. Agent Sanchez.
You gotta be careful, buddy, all right? Because they are looking around these trains for illegals. And if you're mistaken, you'll be shot, amigo.
Then there's Trevor. This guy is life's worst nightmare. Trevor is also one of Michael's old associates and runs a meth lab out in the sticks of Los Santos with a couple of his own new associates. There truly aren't enough words to accurately describe Trevor, but to sum it all up, he's batshit crazy, hilarious, and dangerously smart. Without Trevor's character, GTA 5 just wouldn't be the same game. Trevor is the blasting cap in a 1,000-pound block of C4. Although the block is impressive in size, the real bang comes from that one element.
This is why we work so hard, right?
After all three characters meet up is when the game truly feels as if it opens up to the player. Between the multi-staged missions of casing banks and jewelry stores for the story-progressing heist missions, to towing cars and skydiving, there's never a time where you're left twiddling your thumbs wondering what there is to do next. And with the ability to replay any mission, optional or story-driven, the replay value shoots through the roof. GTA 5's story is so well told and played out. There were times in my day where I would think back to a scene from the game, and for a brief moment, remember that scene as part of a great movie that I had just watched. Yes, it's that good. The end of the game also comes around full circle, almost reminiscent of Red Dead Redemption, minus the skinning of numerous animals. Now with all of the main points taken care of, I can't help to find myself going back to one main story NPC. This character to me deserves mention simply because his character was so well played that it didn't seem to be character at all. He is probably the most fleshed out and realistic in-game NPC I've ever had the pleasure of being exposed to. The voice work for this character is nothing short of absolutely real, and truly feels as though the voice actor did nothing but say what came to his mind versus being scripted in. This NPC is Franklin's partner in crime, Lamar.
You fucking with me, right?
Lamar is so overlooked by the three main characters that it's almost sad.
Man, knock it off, man. For real, after all the motherfucking work I put in, man.
Man, fuck this employee of the month shit, homie. I'm sitting up here trying to get
What you mean, fuck this employee of the month shit, man? When there's some shit to be won, goddammit, I want it. I don't give a fuck what it is. You know what I'm talking about? I take no prisoners. I go hard doing this shit. Big dog, big nuts. When names is on the motherfucking board, I want to see my name at the top of that motherfucking next to it. It needs to say, winner.
And unfortunately, Lamar doesn't get as much screen time as he truly deserves. But when he does get some, he owns that scene. And in case you're asking yourself, yes, this includes the scenes with all three main characters in them as well. Lamar's character deserves mention, and he should also be accepted into gaming history as one of gaming's best characters of all time, NPC or otherwise.
My good deed for the day. Incredible, dude.
Although this may not be the largest of the GTA games, it's no slouch regarding size. The game is absolutely massive, and when you start to open up more activities as you play, that's when you realize the game wasn't built around the flat open area for you to play in, plus a small air segment to fly in. When you dive into the open ocean for the first time, yeah, the open ocean, and see the coral at the bottom being illuminated by the sun cutting through the water and the fish swimming around you, you begin to ask yourself, how the hell is this running so smoothly on my current generation console? They have gone to extensive levels to create a very believable underwater portion to this game, and they have succeeded. With sharks, different types of fish that react to you, and the same level of detail that was placed into the street level environments, the level of detail in such a massive space has never been set this high. It's extremely difficult to find repeating textures even in the graffiti. From the Vinewood sign to the back alleys of rundown areas, I didn't notice any repeated graffiti anywhere in my playthrough. The impressive visual qualities don't stop there though. The clothing on your characters folds and moves with them as they move, similar to Max Payne 3. To top it all off, this is only the third game this generation to wet characters' clothes when entering water. But even with this, Rockstar took that visual effect and brought it further. Now when exiting water, your characters leave puddles of water trailing behind as you walk around. It's all impressive to say the least. Visually, GTA 5 is a game that could easily be mistaken for an early next-gen title. And with all that said, it's obvious that GTA 5 is a visual powerhouse, and when combined with scale, is the best looking game to be released in console history. But don't get me wrong, there are still the occasional graphical hiccups here and there. I mean, come on, the world is absolutely massive. Even Rockstar couldn't get it 100% perfect.
It's not inappropriate.
It's another one of your fucking disasters. That's what it is.
A great story in a game can only be conveyed properly if the voice acting is on par with the rest of the game. Thankfully, and as expected, GTA 5 nails this in spades. But it's not just the voice acting that was done superbly. The audio in whole was taken very special care of. When I first jumped into a car and listened to the engine, I felt a little cheated, until I realized later on that when you get into the car customizing scene, upgrading your engine comes with upgraded engine sounds as well. That in correlation with subtle variations in ground sound bites as you drive are all just pleasant to hear. It makes the hard work and long hours put in by the team at Rockstar very apparent and appreciated.
Well, shit, if going Vinewood means I ain't hitting the pipe like 1992, then shit, I'm guilty as charged.
Punk ass.
What?
Bitch ass.
Excuse me?
Grand Theft Auto 5 has come a long way since its beginning as a top-down game, but one of the most notable improvements is in its control. The controls in Grand Theft Auto 5 are the best in the series, and it's quite obvious if you've played any of Rockstar's other games, that they've learned a lot and reused old techniques from games like Max Payne 3 and Red Dead Redemption. Controlling your character or vehicle in GTA 5 has never felt this good or responsive. With this release, they've put in a sticky cover system and soft lock feature borrowed from Max Payne 3. It feels much better than any GTA before it, and makes shootouts much more enjoyable as a result. When engaged in fistfights, it's also been reworked so that if you lose, it's probably because you weren't good enough to win, not the engine. Driving has also been dramatically enhanced since GTA 4. Gone are the days of driving around cars with tires made of ice on roads covered in baby oil. The vehicles in GTA 5 all handle great, once you get a feel for them that is. Initially they can feel a little slippery, but they become more responsive as you play and level up your characters. Before you reach mid-game, the vehicles will all be handling better to the point of allowing you to pull off tight squeezes without the use of Franklin's special ability. Now with that mentioned, all three characters have their own special ability, which is started by clicking down on both analog sticks. Michael activates GTA's version of bullet time, allowing for easier headshots. Franklin gains super driving senses and can pull off the sharpest turns at top speed while slowing down time, and Trevor goes into a rage where he deals more damage to enemies and takes a lot less damage in return. All of these skills can be upgraded through use and make playing with each character feel different in given situations where all three are together. Everything in this category has been worked and reworked to make for the best possible gameplay experience. It just all feels right this time around.
Hello, boy. What's that? You said a man is stuck in a tree. And he needs my help? Part of you would rather leave him there because he's a bit of a dick. But you're doing your civic duty. Okay, shit, show me.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is a technical marvel and easily ranks among not just the best games of the year, but best games ever created. There is a level of expertise put into this game that is rarely seen in most of today's games. It outshines every entry before it and sets the bar for open world games and production values as high as GTA 3 did when it was released. But even with all that said, there are some issues I have with the choices made by the production team. The conscious choice to put the unnecessary scenes of sex in the game come off as slightly distasteful and immature. With the amount of great work that was put into this game, I feel as though the addition of these scenes, along with the newly added topless strippers, was an unnecessary addition to an otherwise virtually flawless game. The number of sales would not have been affected had they chosen not to put in that content, and I believe it was put in just because they felt they could. This game does seem to scratch the underbelly of an AO rating, and seems like Rockstar was intentionally reaching for that. There is only one sex scene in the game that is part of the story. The rest are optional engagements of the player, so I'm glad it wasn't forced on us. With those gripes in place, it still would not serve the remainder of the game justice to give it a score it doesn't rightfully deserve. Had I been rating this game on morality, it wouldn't get the score that I'm going to give it. But my score is based on what makes a game worth getting the score it deserves, and that criteria has been touched on in this review. So with the developer's immaturity aside, Grand Theft Auto 5's campaign is a masterfully executed piece of gaming history, and with that, I give it a 5 out of 5.
And people say I'm a disgrace to society?
Whatever. No doubt about it. I should call the cops on you.
Man, you suck.
Okay, I'm calling the police.
Lame ass bitch.
Hello, please send an officer over here.